Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me. I've got to pick a card for us here. This one is regarding how they see you and how you make them feel. So if you've never done a pick a card, how I typically do it is I close my eyes and I think of numbers 1 through 4, and whatever number comes into my mind is the one that I go with. We all think differently and our intuition works differently. So if you're more visual, feel free to just look at the numbers, the colors, the stones, whatever jumps out at you first is what you should go with. My one piece of advice is just make sure that you're going with your first instinct, whichever way you do that. And I hope you enjoy this message. I will see you in your pile selection. Take care. Bye-bye. Hello, pile 1. If you chose number 1 or this stone, this is going to be your message regarding how this person sees you. This is how they see you. How you make them feel is the 7 of Cups. And the energies that you should lean into to become the best version of yourself is the Hermit. So first off, how they see you, the Lover's card. This reading is going to be about love and Platonic. So I'm going to kind of go over both scenarios. Clearly, if this is a love interest, they see you as their divine counterpart, someone that is very in sync with them. This could be someone that feels like you almost mirror them, and that there's like a connection that's deeper than just surface level. You know, like they really feel a connection here. They feel like you are someone that understands them. They feel like, and this is also for people that are Platonic, they may feel like you're aligned with their value system, that you guys may share similar vision regarding life in general, regarding, this could even be like someone that feels really connected to you if this is someone at work. I feel like this pile's probably more leaning towards the romantic side. But if not, you know, they do feel really connected to you. They feel like you're on their level. Basically, you know, you're like someone that they can see themselves being an equal to. And also, you stir something in the person that you're talking about that is real. You know, like you could even be like a catalyst for their growth. Or, you know, when they look at you, it's almost like they feel like they can not necessarily learn from you, but they respect you. It's like an equal playing field. How you make them feel, 7 of Cups. This can definitely be romantic. It's like, you know, where you're really almost daydreaming about the person. You just see all these possibilities. The 7 of Cups sometimes is not necessarily in reality. It's more like a dream. You know, you're dreaming about the person or daydreaming about the person. When you see the 7 of Cups, there's like the cups hold different things. Some things can be good, some things can be bad. When you see this as someone's feelings, they really could be a bit confused, almost like, you know, they're not 100% sure if they're going to grab a good cup or a bad cup. They also could be really dreaming about the future with you, or what could be the potential here. This is like where you're walking on the clouds almost with someone. In both scenarios, I'm kind of saying that. So if this is a friendship, they're like dreaming about how this could progress. You know, also they could have a lot of friendships or a lot of choices. This is something that hasn't necessarily been grounded yet. This could just be the way that you make them feel. Perhaps also, if this is Platonic, you could have them, you could inspire them where they start having lots of ideas about things once they talk to you about something. They enjoy getting your input because, you know, you help them kind of think more about their dreams, or you inspire them to really start thinking outside the box, those kinds of things. I pulled these cards also with regards to how you make them feel. Again, you could be this person's dream person. They could feel like they're your counterpart. How teachable are you is here, and beauty. So they definitely feel like you're a very beautiful person, and you could actually inspire this person to feel more beautiful, more authentic almost. How teachable are you is here. So perhaps sometimes they do feel like you guys can learn from each other, or this is something that maybe reminds them of something from their past where they're like looking at it, wondering like, will this be a repeat situation? When you think of how teachable are you, when I see this, it's a 9, number 9, which is sometimes about completion, or they think of things that have gone or transpired in their lives. Perhaps they do start thinking about, I don't know, but I just got something almost like thinking like, are they good enough? Are they good enough in this connection? Um, yeah, because you are really a beautiful person, and I feel like they do feel like you're like a dream. Even if it's platonic, they do feel that way about you. Sorry, I just have to turn off the heater for a second. It's getting a little bit warm. Now, how you can become the best version of yourself. What energies should you lean into to be the best version of you? You have an inner knowing, pile 1. This is the Hermit card. This is all about kind of listening to your inner voice. Spirit sometimes really wants to connect with you with that star there as the illumination here. I do feel like you guys are really deep. You could be very spiritual. Sometimes you need to withdraw in order to really understand how you feel and to really hear your inner guidance. You have an inner knowing. You're connected to spirit, I feel. And patience could be something that you really need or you enjoy. You either enjoy it or you need it. Sometimes you like to go within to suss out the circumstances of what's going on with a person or within a relationship. And those are good things. Pausing, going within, taking some time for solitude. Even if you're an outgoing person, you know, if you are a spiritual person or you need to recharge, that is kind of saying, yes, lean into those energies to be the best version of yourself. And also the card that I pulled regarding how they see you, another one is unfoldment. So I feel like sometimes this person does want to just know you more. They feel like there's many layers that they need to know. They aren't sure if they know everything yet, and they want to learn more. This is a beautiful card if you look at it, Lotus Flower Unfoldment. You could also be someone that loves flowers or enjoys flowers, or perhaps you bring little joys to those around you, kind of like this flower, just seeing a flower when you're walking in the breeze. That could be how they see you, as someone that brings that kind of joy to them, perhaps. I just want to get a couple more cards. Spirit, what is your advice for pile 1? I'm going to pull Spirit's advice here. Yeah, progress, not perfection is the advice from Spirit. Don't compare yourself to others or judge yourself. Instead, focus upon how far you've come and all that you've learned. So, yeah, the Hermit, that's backing up what the Hermit card is saying. Kind of go within, take your time, have patience. Progress, not perfection. These are the energies that you can lean into in order to become the best version of you. And also, look, heightened intuition, also kind of what I said about the Hermit. Yes, you guys have a connection to spirit, whether you know it or not. Your intuition is on point. Be extra aware of your inner knowingness, as it's trustworthy. So you will know how to proceed with this person, I feel. And I feel like, you just have to kind of go within and hear your inner voice in regards to what next steps to take, or kind of how this is going to progress, or how you want it to progress, those kinds of things. Yeah, I hope that helped, pile 1. I hope that was informative. I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for joining me, and I will talk to you soon. Hello, pile 2. If you chose number 2 or this stone, these are going to be your messages regarding how your person views you, how they see you is the 9 of Cups, how you make them feel is the 8 of Pentacles, and the energies that you should lean into to become the best version of yourself is the 4 of Cups. So let's talk about this a bit. So pile 2, first I want to mention there was some strange energies coming up when I was shuffling for you. So this could be about a couple. I am doing these readings, love or platonic. It doesn't have to be either or. I'm going to try to touch on different factors, and I feel like you guys are just intelligent enough to interpret them in your way that pertains to your particular situation. But when I was shuffling, I only take one card for each of these, and I literally want one card. That's my intention. So what came up first was 3 cards popped out at once. It was the Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Page of Cups. So this definitely could be about a couple. Fire signs, perhaps, doesn't have to be just passionate individuals, confident individuals. And then the Page of Cups sometimes is about a love offer or a love message or just a crush or something like that. Could just be love in general. But as I said, I only want one card, so I put them back in, and then as I was shuffling again, this came out, and then there's just some strange energy. So I'm not sure. At the bottom of the deck was the Nine of Swords, so somebody could be really stressed. I just feel like there's a mixed bag of emotions going on here, because I also, when I was shuffling this deck, I saw Wake Up Call. So I don't know if there's something going on with you guys in terms of either your personal life. You would already know about this. This isn't, I don't do predictions like that. I also saw the Entrapment card, so I don't know exactly what it is, because when I look at these cards, I don't necessarily feel that, but I'll touch on some of what I am feeling when I look at them. So anyway, so this is a beautiful card as how they see you, Nine of Cups. It's a very positive card. This could be their wish fulfillment. You are everything they wish for in a person. The Nine of Cups is a very jolly person, very happy. You could be seen as someone that is getting all of their wishes in life, very happy, very self-fulfilled, someone that has an emotional satisfaction, and you are very radiant when you're, with others. Perhaps they feel like you are their emotional fulfillment. They see you as beautiful, self-assured, lots of joy in that card. You could definitely be someone that's seen as, you are very aware of your self-worth. Sometimes people say that this card can be a selfish energy. I definitely don't feel that from this, but if that is the case, perhaps they just know that you go after what you want and you get it, like you fulfill your own wishes. You also got, to clarify this, you got Summer Solstice, which is radiance, which is beautiful. I mean, they see you as, this is almost like the Sun card, just very happy, very jolly, very like a shining light. You're able to bring joy to others, which is beautiful. I want to get into kind of how they feel like they see you as someone that's got it figured out. You've got your eye on the prize. You can manifest your own dreams. You're probably someone that seems like you get your wishes fulfilled also. That's love or platonic. How you make them feel, this could definitely be interpreted in different ways. You may really inspire this person to work hard at their own dreams, like they get to work, they know they have to put in the work. Eight of Pentacles is all about being really focused on their craft, perfecting their craft, doing a good job, working very hard. You may inspire this person to be more creative with showing who they are. I feel like, as a pile 2, I feel like you are satisfied with yourself, so you're able to kind of show who you are a bit more. And even if you're not necessarily showing everything to the world, because I feel like you probably don't show everything, people that know you feel like you're really happy with yourself and you're able to show the world who you are. With his arms crossed, I just got a feeling from that, like, yes, you show your happy side. I'm not saying you're deceptive with what you're showing the world, but I feel like you do hold some things in because you want to be the light and the joy for others. So you don't necessarily show everything. But this is kind of where that confusing part, the confusing energy, like I mentioned, the Nine of Swords and the Wake Up Call, that stuff, the Entrapment card. There's something about this pile that has an underlying, there's like an underlying worry in this pile. I don't know if that's in you or in them, but this also says letting go. So I don't know if this person works really hard to let go of their past opinions of you or something that has happened between the two of you in their past. Some things maybe stress the both of you out, or maybe you guys spend a lot of time thinking about this connection. Something is causing like mental stress or continued thoughts, or someone may feel wounded from something. This doesn't have to be with this relationship together. You guys individually could have your own struggles. Maybe you guys don't necessarily talk about it, or it could be in this relationship. Maybe you're asking about someone that you do have a past with. This is a pick a card, so it's going to be different for each of you that are clicking on this. You definitely inspire this person to be better. They want to work harder, do more, perhaps for this connection or perhaps for themselves. You may inspire them to become as happy as you are. You know, they're like, you know what? I need to work on my creativity. I need to unleash who I really am. I need to let go of my negative thinking or my, whatever you think their bad habit is, or whatever you think they need to let go of, or maybe I need to let go of a past connection in order to focus more on this person, or something along those lines, guys. So you're going to have to interpret that the way that it fits your story. The energy that you should lean into in order to become the best version of yourself here is the Four of Cups. So there could be some things that you are kind of... So let's see. I want to kind of talk about it because the Four of Cups is interesting. It's like you're being offered something here, but you're not looking at it. It's like you could be really focused on something else, and maybe Spirit is saying like you've got a lot of good in your life, like you're focusing on it, or perhaps they're saying, look up and take a look at what is being offered to you. There's also something here. Take off your mask. Yeah, I was feeling that, like there's something that you're not showing. Take off your masks or become the true you. Like, let things in. Don't be closed off. He's not looking up at this cup. So I just feel like there might be something that you... Yeah, like once again, crossed arms. Maybe you're protecting your heart space so you don't share your emotions. You don't accept the reciprocity of joy from others. The cups can be emotion. Perhaps you don't really like to get too deep into emotions. Perhaps you don't like to... trying to think here because his legs are crossed too. And when I was looking at this, I did feel that way. Like you guys don't express everything. And maybe for the lean into the energies here with the Four of Cups, sometimes we just have to look up and acknowledge what we've got and kind of what we've already got setting before us. Like, don't get so singularly focused on one thing that you're not happy about the other things in your life. Or perhaps, this is about kind of not being okay with status quo, like wanting more out of it, or wanting to express yourself more. Don't stay so buttoned up, perhaps. Yeah. Procrastination was at the bottom of the deck as well. Perhaps there's procrastination or stagnation going on in this relationship. Perhaps you guys have a reason for that. That was reversed. So, but yeah, so you guys might be really focused on something that you're working on, or you're trying to really present yourself in a certain way so that you keep everyone happy, when really sometimes you feel dissatisfied. But maybe this is kind of saying, take off your mask, be the real you. When you're stressed, you don't have to be this wonderful shining light all the time. You're human. Let me get Spirit's advice. What's Spirit's advice for pile 2? What's Spirit's advice for pile 2? Perhaps you guys have to be a little bit more vulnerable sometimes, maybe. What is Spirit's advice for pile 2? Yeah, you guys could be really wounded by certain things in your life, not necessarily this relationship, but perhaps, it's time to kind of let down your guard a little bit in certain areas. Heightened intuition is here. Be extra aware of your inner knowingness. It's trustworthy. So yeah, you guys already know. You already know kind of what to do. Passion and purpose is here. Your enthusiasm gives you energy and motivation to work on a meaningful project that's dear to your heart. Yeah, you guys are probably really hard workers. You're probably always trying to work on your dreams. And you may be so solely focused on one thing that you're not looking around at the other opportunities, or you're not reaching out and grabbing that cup. of emotion. Sometimes maybe you don't want to kind of deal with that emotional side of things. Yeah, it's really interesting. But I do feel like there's an underlying feeling of like stress, or I can't move forward with something, or I have to let something go before I can do this, or I have to do something before I accept that cup. Yeah, but I do feel like pile two, you really, you inspire this person in many ways, whether this is platonic or love interest. You really activate them. You get them wanting to do more, wanting to work hard, wanting to be better, wanting to, work to be at your standard or something like that. That is definitely how they feel, and you inspire them to be more creative, perhaps, as well. But yeah, I feel like you guys are really focused on something. Maybe this is about focusing specifically on your wishes and your dreams, even though people already think that you have all that wish fulfillment. Perhaps this is kind of telling you your advice to become the best version of you is to like really focus on your actual dreams. Also, it could be about opening up a little bit, opening up and he looks very dissatisfied with life, so go after the things that make your heart tick, but even though people feel like you're such a radiant, inspirational soul, I feel like you really are. But maybe sometimes you stuff down what you really want to go after. I hope that helped, Pile 2. And I appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello, Pile 3. If you chose number 3 or this stone, these are going to be your messages regarding how this person sees you, which is the Four of Pentacles here. That's how they see you. How you make them feel is the Nine of Swords. And what energies you should lean into to become the best version of yourself is the Sun card. So let's talk a little bit about this combination here. So they see you as the Four of Pentacles. I want to say when I was shuffling, I did see the Queen of Wands. So I feel like this pile, you guys are really confident, or at least you have the ability to be that way. You're not maybe you're not always that way with this individual. Like you don't come across as really confident and really creative. The Queen of Wands is just so much fun. She's very confident, very creative, very... just really great at everything she does. So I believe you guys definitely have that. But as I said, that was like with a huge chunk of cards and I only take one, so I continued to shuffle. That came out really prematurely. I just feel like that's an underlying energy for anyone that picked pile 3, male or female, but that energy is here. It's just a very fun, fiery, confident, capable energy. I want you to know that. So anyway, how they see you. Four of Pentacles. So you guys right now could be a little bit closed off emotionally, or maybe you're just very busy, you're very grounded, you're all about kind of, maybe you're focused more on your finances at this time. You could be someone that holds on tightly to their emotions, like, or to anything. Maybe you really protect your time, your space, your energy. They could see you as someone that is grounded, self-protective, and discerning with your energy. So they may see you as someone that, like, you hold your cards close to your vest. You don't really let anyone tap into that emotional side of you too easily. You also don't give up. You're very good at, staying the course, steady, stable. Like I said, you have a very good, secure foundation for yourself. That's how they see you. Strength came up. They see you as someone that's very, very strong. This could also be someone that they feel like they'd have to climb mountains almost to get in, get into your good graces, or and this is for love or platonic, guys. Just interpret it the way that it fits your relationship that I'm speaking about. They could definitely feel like, almost like they have to move mountains to get to you, or get to that inner space, or get, but also that this card wanted to come out too. You guys could be liking to be alone more or less right now too. That's kind of what I was gathering from some of this stuff, and I saw solitude underneath there. This could be a family member you're asking about, but doesn't have to be. Synergy. They definitely feel like you guys are really capable. Perhaps you're really good at being at the right place at the right time. Perhaps you're really good in business. Perhaps you're really good at making things happen for yourself. Or maybe they feel like when they were on, good speaking terms and really flowing with your energy, you guys had a good synastry going. Synastry. Wow, that was interesting. I didn't mean to say synastry. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they felt like you guys were on the same trajectory for a while, and when that was the case, everything was, you had a good synergy together, like you really understood each other. Right now, you're causing them some stress. I feel like they're a little bit stressed out. How do you make them feel? They may be really overthinking a lot in regards to this connection. When you see the Nine of Swords, this person can't sleep. They're like sitting up thinking. So the swords are mental energy. They may really be focused on this. Victim consciousness is here, and rejection. Perhaps something that went on between you guys, if this is romantic, perhaps you did reject them, or there was some form of rejection, or maybe if this isn't romantic, maybe you rejected an idea of theirs and they're just going over it in their head thinking like, wow, how could that be? They may feel a little bit like they were a victim in this situation, and I don't mean anything like violent or anything. I just mean like they're like, oh, I can't believe they didn't like my idea. Like they're going through it in their head over and over, like trying to think like, how can I present this in a different way, or what did I say, or what did I not say, or you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. The energies that you should lean into to become the best version of yourself. The Sun card is so much joy. When I was pulling this, I also, a chunk of cards came out that was kind of like Six of Swords, like moving away from heartbreak into celebratory times, like maybe just letting down your guard a little bit, having fun, being there's so much warmth in this Sun card. Perhaps, sometimes you have to remind yourself, even though you're really focused on success and protecting yourself, sometimes, the best version of you wants to be warm and have emotional connections, and like lean into relationships that feel like sunlight, where it's reciprocal, or you have the potential to really just be so generous and so playful and so sweet and so kind. And I feel like your soul really wants you to do that. Right now you may have been wounded and you're really protecting yourself, or you may feel like you have to be really strong, but in order to be the best version of you, you kind of have to go back to that fun loving, like reconnect with what feels fun, not just purposeful. Like we're talking about the things that, think about childhood joys, just running free in the grass. I'm not saying to do that now. It's freezing where I am, but what I'm saying, these loving just things that you cherish, lean into the things that make you feel like sunshine, feel warmth and feel happiness and feel joy. And there's a child riding on a horse in the sun with sunflowers behind them. It doesn't get much happier than that. I think your soul is kind of crying out to lean into things that make you really, really happy. It's like, don't dim yourself. Don't only focus on material things or only focus on pain you've been through. Make sure that you are giving space to things that help you feel alive and warm and generous, and be with people that make you feel like you are just really enjoying yourself, unapologetically, literally reveling in happiness. I know some people listening to this are like, that's not possible, but there's things in your life that probably create a lot of happiness for you that you may not be focused on right now. And this is just saying, focus back on those tendencies. I feel like you have a really loving quality, and sometimes you protect yourself, so you just kind of ball it up because you don't want to be vulnerable, or you don't want to, you just feel like you have to be really strong and slow and steady, and that's what wins the race. But let me get Spirit's advice. What's Spirit's advice for pile 3? What is Spirit's advice for pile 3? Yeah, whomever this is, they really overthink the connection. What's Spirit's advice? Thank you. unconventionality. Your unique qualities are an important part of your life purpose. It's okay to feel and be different from others. Yeah, perhaps you hide yourself a little bit because you're different and you're afraid of being judged. So perhaps you just close off those parts of yourself. Whomever this is wants to be more connected to those things in your life. Um, let's get one more card about how you make pile 3 feel. Spirit, how does pile 3 make their person feel? How does pile 3? Yeah. Traditional. Yeah. I mean, sometimes they feel like, yeah. Yeah, you may make them feel like they really have to mind their P's and Q's. Like there's something about it that's so, yeah, like they feel like it's very business-like or something. Like they're missing that emotional connection. You got the Hierophant and the Justice card. I think sometimes they feel like they really have to be on their best behavior. They really have to make sure they're showing up and showing out and being like very succinct or being very yeah. I just feel like you make them feel like they can't see the other side of you that they know other people can see. And that makes them kind of sad sometimes. Like they really overthink it. They also want to impress you because they really have you, they really think of you in a high status. Like they really, like the Hierophant is someone that you learn from. And you know, the Justice card, it can be like almost like a judge or someone that, I mean, it is also known as karma, but it these two together, wow, I mean, yeah, they really feel like they have to be super professional and super to the point, and like I keep hearing like succinct. I don't know why, but maybe they just really yeah, they just feel like there's something about the connection that they want to see other sides to you, but everything's so buttoned up and they just feel like they really have to mind their P's and Q's and they have to be yeah, they're fearful sometimes of how you'll judge them or what you'll think of them or if they're good enough or, you know, if your values are aligned or they're afraid of like what you're going to think when they say things, something along those lines. Interesting. Well, pile 3, I hope that was helpful. Spirit, you know, what's happening here is the energies that you should lean into to become the best version of yourself. Let your hair down sometimes. Be vulnerable, be authentic, let that joy radiate through you. And I feel like you'll actually just really enjoy that a lot. You could button yourself up because you feel really different sometimes, and I feel like sometimes you don't want to let that out, but I think that's part of your beauty and your uniqueness is being unconventional. I hope that helped. Take care of yourself, pile 3, and I'll talk to you soon. Hello, pile 4. If you chose number 4 or the stone, these are going to be your messages. So how your person sees you is the Queen of Cups. How you make your person feel is the Ace of Pentacles. And the energies to lean into to be the best version of yourself is the Six of Wands. What a beautiful message here. First of all, how they see you as the Queen of Wands. She is so loving. They see you as someone that has emotional depth, and you are probably very intuitive. They see you as an intuitive person with a lot of wisdom. And basically, with the Queen of Cups, you are just very attuned to emotions. You're capable of not only stirring emotions, but nurturing. Basically, you listen deeply, you hold space without judgment. You could be very comforting to them. They could feel you on a soul level. They may feel safe with you. They see you as kind of like their safe space. You can also be very mysterious to some. And I just say that because you seem extremely intuitive. They probably think that you have like an inner knowing, and I'm sure you do. The Queen of Cups she's so loving and graceful, and she's spiritually magnetic. Um, you're also probably pretty protective of your emotional realm. You're very creative, and overall, they just see you as a very loving person. Now, with regards to how you make them feel, so interesting. You've got the Ace of Pentacles. You make them feel like there's something really promising here in the relationship. This doesn't have to be romantic, although I feel like this one probably is romantic. You could be asking about Platonic. If you're asking about Platonic, this actually could be a family member, someone that feels like you're part of their soul tribe, but they really feel like it's safe to invest in you. They're inspired to build, start, they may be really like you inspire something in them that makes them want to um, activate something within themselves, like maybe a new project or a vision that they've had. Maybe you make them feel more, um, I think you actually even make them feel more confident in themselves, something like that, almost like they have more faith in themselves through this relationship, something like that. They could also feel very grounded and hopeful, and they probably feel really valued. You reflect back them like their worth, like I was saying. I feel like they feel like you're like a gift to them. The Ace of Pentacles is such a beautiful card. Um, yeah, you just feel, I think that they feel like with your love and support, they could do a lot or do anything. It's like a foundation for them to build on. Also, how they view you. I had pulled this Earth Magic card. They really feel like you have this fairy-like energy, like you're magical. Such a beautiful energy. So if this is a love interest, they definitely think that you could be their soulmate. You feel like family already. They want a family perhaps with you, which is why that Ace of Pentacles is there. Like they want to start something solid. And say what you mean is here. Perhaps they have a lot on their mind and maybe they haven't expressed everything. Ace is the beginning of the suit there, so perhaps they feel like there's a lot that they want to talk about. Maybe they feel really spiritually connected to you and they feel like you guys kind of almost telepathically communicate, like you can almost hear their thoughts or feel their thoughts. They definitely feel connected to you, regardless of if this is romantic or platonic. I do want to say one thing, and I'm not trying to scare anyone in this group because there's nothing here about third party. There's nothing here. So if this was a circumstance where there was a third party, for the individuals that it will apply to, you would already know. None of these cards say third party. But what I want to say is, I did see the Queen of Wands and the Empress while I was shuffling, and like a chunk of cards came out, and that was like with the Nine of Swords. And then I put them back because I only accept one card, and then the Queen of Cups came out. So this could be a group of women, first of all. It doesn't have to be through third party at all. And like I said, listen, if you are watching this for a romantic partner and you don't already know there's a third party, it's absolutely not a third party situation. That's not what this is saying, and that's not what this reading is about at all. But what I'm saying is I had, because I had the Empress and the Queen of Wands and then the Queen of Cups come up, this could be like a friendship, a girl, like maybe if this is like a group of girls, you literally inspire your friends and they feel like you're like their soul tribe. They love you. They feel like they've known you before. You guys are really just in sync with each other. You inspire them to be great. They feel like they can really build upon this friendship, and also you inspire them to do great things, like practical things. But I do want to say, if this is something where you already know that you're asking someone's feelings that already has someone else or something, there could be some stress related to that in the background. But like I said, this would only be within a circumstance of people if you already know that someone has someone else and you're just asking about them. That did kind of come up in the cards because I saw the Empress, the Queen of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. So it could be causing like some mental stress or anxiety. And then I also saw the Two of Pentacles, so there could be some juggling here. There could be some stress regarding work or juggling multiple things. This could be for both parties. This doesn't have to be for just one of you, but this could also mean travel. Perhaps somebody here is traveling who's watching this, or this person travels, or maybe this person would love to travel with you. So yeah, so this could either be, you know, this could be about a group of friends. It could also be, like I said, it's not uncovering a third party. That's not at all what this reading is at all about, but I just wanted to mention that because it did come up. And then you've got this wolf card here. So you guys could really have a go-getter attitude. Just, I did hear wolf in sheep's clothing, and that's not always a bad thing. I think sometimes people may just view you as this soft, loving person, but really you have this really fierce side, and you're very capable. You've got really good natural instincts. So, and then the energies that you should lean into to become the best version of yourself. Six of Wands doesn't get much better than that. You have to kind of lean into, you need to be really confident in yourself and own your wins publicly. Let yourself be witnessed. Share your story, your offerings, your growth. Visibility isn't vanity. It's like building your legacy. You inspire others by standing tall. Perhaps you have, you know, success stories to share, and they'll be inspiring to others. Lead with confidence. Celebrate yourself. Also, with the Six of Wands, we often see that there, you know, he's being cheered on, like he's being recognized by a group of people. This could also be about, you know, let support in, like let others cheer you on. You don't have to do it alone. Let your community reflect light back to you as well. So be the example. And I think like that would really just build your confidence and make you feel really good just by sharing what you've already done. Stay heart led. You know, make sure you're leading with this beautiful Queen of Cups energy. And it's just very lovely, the energy here. I love it very much. It's such a pretty, such a nice message here. I also want to mention to you that there was a chunk of cards that flew out. And these I feel were definitely meant for how you make them feel. But these were part of what came out when I was asking about that. They just kind of fell out in a chunk. I do feel like you guys, maybe you have a purpose of sharing your self-love journey. This person could feel really inspired to become a better them, or to, maybe you are influencing a group of people to really pour love into themselves, or to value their, just kind of, you know, give back to themselves, you know, like maybe you're inspiring people to really pour energy back into themselves, self-love, nurture themselves, put time and effort into their appearance, or into themselves, period. You've got beauty here. You could be a very beautiful person. This person can see you as a very beautiful person. Inner child is here. Perhaps you tap something, or you awaken something to do with this person's inner child, or maybe you're influencing like a group of people, like I said, to kind of look within and find where their happiness lies, or what would make them happy. You've got pride here, and have faith. So don't let pride get in the way of sharing successes. Like sometimes people feel like, you know, we can't share too much, or we don't want to be too flashy or something like that. But I feel like you guys really know where that line is. I don't feel like this group brags. I feel like, you know, it would be perfectly fine to share your successes in this group. Pride is here. Regardless, sometimes, you know, when we share things in our past that have failed, and we had to have faith in them, sometimes, you know, it can be an ego bruise to fail, but sometimes sharing those things and then letting people see how we rose to victory is really cathartic, and it really could help others. I feel like that's something to do with this group. You guys are really good at that. And love came out. So perhaps, you know, you inspired love in a lot of people, maybe even this person. There were a lot of messages that wanted to come out for this group. So I feel like you're viewed in a very beautiful way. with this fairy earth magic, people see you as literally magical and very loving and kind. And I feel like you inspire people to really acknowledge things about themselves, or realize certain gifts that they have, or try, help them, inspire them to kind of work on their gifts, or work on their abundance, those kinds of things. Spirit, what is your advice for group 4? What is your advice for group 4? What is your advice for group 4, Spirit? Yeah. Ceremonies and celebrations. It's a time of important life passages such as weddings, birthdays, graduations, or anniversaries. Emerald. I feel like, yeah, this is another one. Like, celebrate your successes. Make sure you are doing that. Make sure you're acknowledging how far you've come, how great you are, all the uplifting that you do for others. And let's see at the bottom. Yeah, revealing your true self. Absolutely. That's what is this group is really being called to show the world how beautiful you are, revealing your true self. As you allow others to know the real you, you'll feel loved for who you truly are. Yeah, you guys might even have a fan base. Maybe this is something like, maybe you're building something almost like a, maybe you're building a legacy almost, where you're inspiring people and you're getting fans, and you should be very proud of your success, those kinds of things. You may have a lot of eyes on you when you're looking over here. Look at all these people looking. And when you're preaching the message of like self-love, you could really be helping other people understand the importance of those things and kind of what to value. Like when I looked at that hand holding something, like you could really be inspiring people to look at things that they truly value in their lives, if that makes sense. Thank you so much for being here, Pal 4. I hope you enjoyed the message. I will talk to you soon. Take care.